So Joe Rogan just became the first $100 million podcaster. Why is that significant? Well, welcome to the show today. My name is JB Glossinger, and I'm so glad you're with me as we are broadcasting from this wonderful, beautiful South Florida day. Yes, it is a little hot. If you've watched my video driving around in the vet the other day, it is getting a little warm. But I want to talk to you a little bit about podcasting today and why it's so significant that Joe Rogan just got a $100 million deal from Spotify. You see, I've been podcasting since 2005. Right around October, November of 2005 is when I started the Morning Coach Show. And I've been podcasting daily, literally every day for the past 15 years. Well, I won't say that. For the past 5 years. I used to do only Monday through Friday when I first started my show. And back in 2005, 2006, and in fact, all the way up to 2009, I was going broke. And it wasn't that though I had a little show, my show Morning Coach was actually one of the top 20, 25 shows in the world. It used to rank consistently. And as it ranked, you know, you would think that I would get sponsorship offers. And the truth was back then, I think the most I was ever asked or was ever given was to be sponsored for around $200. And so to me, you know, that wouldn't do anything. I mean, it couldn't help me do anything. So what I did between 2005 and 2009 was continue to grow. And then eventually I built a website, which I think may be one of the first websites ever on, or membership sites ever on the web. And we put 12,000 people in that membership site. Now with that membership site, what I ended up doing in 2009 is I ended up going from free, doing the free podcast, to paid. So in 2009, I became one of the first paid podcasters on the internet. And at that time, 1,231 people came with me, and that really started my life. It started everything working for me. By the way, if you hear some fountains, I'm out here in the fountains today, just enjoying it. And that was the real start of my career, because now I had this revenue that was coming in at with 1,231 people. And that was the big start. But the thing that I'm talking about and why I'm talking about podcasting today is because there was no sponsorship money, right? And to see somebody, Joe Rogan, who obviously is famous and does the MMA telecast and has been able to do Fear Factor and other things, it's still awesome to see somebody make $100 million and sign a contract with Spotify. So again, back to my model, you know, I've always built, and you've heard me on the channel talk about this, 500 people spending $2,000 a year with you is $1 million business. And really, that's how I've always really built, is I've focused on those 500 people, less numbers. But now when you start to see the type of revenue coming from YouTube, and some of the YouTubers are making, and now some of the podcasters, it's really awesome to see that there is an opportunity that the media is now, that money that used to go into TV advertising is now going into some of these non-traditional medias, which are becoming traditional media, such as YouTube, podcasting, and those type of things. So the deal is, when we're talking about this, should we start a podcast? That's the thing in 2020. Well, a good example of that is this channel. I mean, I'm literally just starting this now. Yes, I've been on YouTube for 12 years. Yes, I've been on since the beginning, but I've never really focused on it. And so now I'm starting to focus on it. I'm trying different techniques and different ways to do it. We just passed the $20 a day point, a lot of that on my Remarkable videos. But I'm going to start doing some vloggy type stuff and starting to see if this can be an actual media channel. So the question is, if Joe Rogan can get $100 million, should you start a podcast? Well, I think the key is, if you're going to start your podcast, you've got to have a reason of why you're going to do it. Is there an acquisition portion of it? Well, I think you've got to put a good show together. Like, my show is all about energy and positivity and me, and that's why it works. I've been doing it for years, 15 years, almost 4,000 episodes. So I think you need to make it about you. That's one of the critical things if you're going to start a podcast today. And then also, I think if you're doing it just for the money, that's not the reason. You know, I absolutely love video. I always have. I just haven't taken the time to do it, because the truth is I would burn out on it because I really wasn't seeing the results. So if you're doing it just for the money, I think that's an issue. I wouldn't do it just for the money. But if you're doing it because you're excited about helping other people and connecting with other people, then the podcast works. The other thing I think about podcasting, why it works, is because you're in somebody's ears, right? So it's a really personal relationship. Just like I'm finding out about this here at YouTube, this is actually a real personal relationship. I didn't realize, as I'm meeting so many cool people, how important it is to connect with others. But on podcasting specifically, you're in somebody's ears. So you're having a specific relationship with them, and you're like talking to them. So you got to make sure that as you're, having that conversation, that you're speaking to that person. I think one of the things I see a lot of people make mistakes with is on their podcast is they'll go, hey, everybody, what's going on? I hope you're doing great today. And that's all good. But the truth is you're speaking to one person, just like I'm speaking to you right now. We're having a conversation, even though it's through through earbuds. And when I started, it was actually with the podcast player back in the day, which is really crazy. And I actually had to teach people how to do it. It's called a podcast because there used to be iPods, right? A lot of kids today don't know that. But at the end of the day, it's about that individual communication, and that's what makes a podcast so great, and that's what allows you to connect. Now, obviously, Joe Rogan, why he's getting $100 million is he turned into almost what I call the male Oprah, right? He was doing a lot of interviews. He's had Elon Musk. He's had all kinds of people on his show, and he just really dominated the space by interviewing and doing cool things. Here is the major thing. If you want to start something like a video channel or you want to do some podcasting, at the end of the day, you can build a great life doing this. I mean, my show, over the past 15 years with the membership site and the things I built has done upwards to close to $5 million right now. I mean, we were just over 4 last year, and that's pretty great. That's a great lifestyle that I've been able to build. Obviously, I play golf almost every single day. I'm going to play this afternoon. And I'm having fun, and I get to do these type of things and connect with other people. The thing that I see is people just don't stick with it long enough. And that's always the challenge, right, with all this stuff. It's like, are you willing to build an audience? Are you really willing to connect? And this is a great example because this YouTube channel is very similar in that I am working to figure out what type of content does everybody want. This last month, it's really been about the Remarkable Tablet, and most of my subscribers have come from that, and that's cool. I love doing tech reviews. But what about the movies and other things? Can I make this a multimedia channel? Well, I'm going to have to do a lot of content, experiment, and then figure out if it works. But I want to celebrate Joe Rogan today from the standpoint that, one, I think you should always celebrate when people have windfalls and success. I think too many people, look at that and get a little jealous. At the end of the day, somebody was able to take a podcast, put some videos, and create $100 million. I think that's just awesome with Spotify. I think that's just amazing. And if we can do that, and if he can do that, we don't need $100 million, but a few $1,000s is pretty cool, right? So use that as inspiration and start focusing on what you can do in order for you to live your life and to have some fun. You can podcast, you can do this stuff, but you got to have the right idea or the right thought process. You can't just do it because you want to make money or because he did $100 million. That's the wrong way going in. You got to go in with a game plan. You got to go execute. And again, looking at my journey, my podcast really solved the problem of giving people energy every morning. That's why it was called morningcoach.com, right? It just worked. And then this channel has been up and down because I'm trying to find that right content that works. Like Johnny Carson, my mentor, for some of you that are very young, you don't know who Johnny Carson is, but he used to do the Tonight Show. And his whole concept was if I could just give people a way to get away from life for a little while, then he was winning. And that's what I'm trying to do here is just give you some tidbits, whether it's podcasting, whether it's technological reviews, whether it's movie reviews and endings, whether it's some inspirational positivity, whether it's just energy. That's what I'm looking to do. And as I build, that's what I'm looking to build with is people that are looking for those things, right? So I can educate a little bit, go over the 15 years of things that I've done, the mistakes that I have made, and really create a really nice channel here of great energy and great content, and that's what we're focused on. So we're celebrating Joe Rogan today, the first $100 million podcaster. How cool is that? Let's celebrate it together. For those of you that are liking this content, please subscribe and hit that like button on the video and hit subscribe and hit that little alert bell so you know when I get videos. And what I'm trying to do, just so you know, is put up videos every single day. Some will be like this vloggy style, some will be in the studio, some will be tech reviews, and I'm just kind of feeling out what content takes hold so I can build that channel. And by you subscribing and hitting that alert bell, I know, hey, this was a good one. And also, comments are critical. So are you going to start your podcast? And if you have a podcast, where can I find it? If you have a YouTube channel, where can I find it? I would like to follow you and subscribe to you and like your channel just as you're doing for me. So thanks for watching. Go have a great day as always. And until tomorrow, go do it to it. Let's celebrate Joe Rogan.